Guys, what's up? So today's story is gonna be on the worst thing that I ever did to an ex. Now, you guys already know the type of person that I am, so I feel that in my defense, I have to tell you all the stuff that she did so you guys can understand why I did what I did. We're gonna call this girl La Colombiana because that's what I've always called her till this day, and she was my very first girlfriend ever when I came out the closet. Throw that out there because I know you guys are gonna hear this parts of the story and be like, why didn't you just break up with her? Because she was my first girlfriend ever. So the first girl always gets away with everything. Everything is so new, there's something that you've always wanted. Now you're dating a girl and you just kind of don't know what to do at some point. But anyway, let me get to the story. It was like extremely rude. I don't know how to explain it. It was just one of those things that I would introduce her to my friends and she wouldn't try to win my friends. Like she was just very rude and blunt. Example, one of my friends was doing me a really big favor. They were putting in a car stereo system, that was like the cool thing back then, into my car, and they told me it was only going to be that her boy can really do it really fast and it was only going to be about an hour. It ended up being more than an hour, and my girlfriend was so mad and she was making a scene with everyone. My really sweet friends comes up to me. She's like, yo, Abby, I love you, but I'm gonna tell you this straight up. If you don't get your girl out of here, I'm gonna punch her in the face. I was like, oh my God. We had to like rush everything, and there was still a lot of stuff missing from my car, but because she was being like a little brat, I had to cancel everything and leave. Mind you that this was me still coming out of the closet, and my friend Lisa's mom was so accepting and she invited all of us over for dinner. Long story short, that dinner went to hell. Like, she was being extremely rude to the point that my friend's mom grabbed me in the kitchen and she's like, listen, I love you, but you are more than welcome. I mean, she's like, you're more than welcome here. She's like, pero esa. She's like, esa nunca me la vuelvas a traer aquí. And I'm like, oh my God, like she was not welcomed anywhere. This was all around the hurricanes and all that stuff in 2004, where all that bad stuff was going on. So this lady from my church decided to cook us dinner. Remember how she ended up alone with these church people or whatever, but it was like a house full of Puerto Ricans, and she's Colombian, and she says this. My church is really nice and serves her food, and in front of everyone she's like, ay, ustedes los boricuas siempre están haciendo la misma comida, arroz con gandules y chuleta. I wasn't there, but the way my dad and everyone told me the story, like everyone was like, bro, everyone just looked at her like that was extremely rude, and my dad was like, she needs to go. This day, I honestly feel with all my heart that she hates Puerto Ricans. I don't know why. I don't even know why she was dating me to begin with, but she would always say offensive things to my other Puerto Rican friends. So that was another thing. Here you guys are kind of more or less getting to know her personality, but then it starts getting worse. She's just a very ungrateful person. At one point in our relationship, she tells me that her dad kicks her out of the house because he found out that she was gay. So now she had no place to go. That I couldn't just bring her to my house because my mom suspected, but my dad was clueless, and my sisters knew that me and her were together, but my sisters didn't like her. If she didn't have a place to go, that meant that I didn't have a place to take her. So what did I do? We slept together in a car, a Wendy's parking lot. We did it for about 2 or 3 nights straight. It's the Wendy's on International Drive, where Sea Road is right here and the Wendy's is on the left. That's where we slept together. When I tell my parents this story, they get really sad, and my dad gets furious because he's just like, I can't believe, tú sabes todo lo que te podía pasar ahí, tú estabas en ese pan. I didn't know that my parents were going to be so accepting. Had I known, I would have came out of the closet. I never really thought that my parents weren't going to accept me. More that I didn't want to disappoint my parents, especially my father. Like, who wants to sit there and tell their dad that they're gay? Like, nobody wants to do that. On a side note, I have great parents, but there's a lot of kids out there that are dying to tell their parents and they don't know how they're going to react. And this is why we end up doing things. This is why we end up doing the crazy things that we do, like sleeping in a parking lot in a car with your girlfriend, thinking that your parents are not going to accept you. I think that any good parent in the world would prefer for their kid to tell them that they're gay rather than to have them sleep in a car or do the crazy things that they do and get hurt. Anyways, back to the story. I don't want to sleep in the car anymore because I'm like, babe, this is really dangerous. And we're 2 girls. This is not safe. So let me see what I can do. At that time, I had gotten like my very first car. It was like 2003, and I had a 2003 Dodge Neon, and my car payment was about $275 a month. To surprise her, and we didn't have the technology of today that I could have just looked at hotels.com or all these cheap places or deals. I just went to the first hotel I saw on 192. I paid, I think it was like $280 for a week because I was like, okay, at least now for this week, we're both good. We both don't have to worry about where we're going to sleep for this week because I paid for this hotel. The nicest hotel in the world, obviously, but it was $280. So what I did is that I didn't pay my car for that month, so we would have a place to sleep for that week. I'm all happy, like all I say, like, mi amor, mira, look what I got for us. I got us a hotel and whatever. And she's like, how much did you pay for this? And I'm like, well, it was $280. Complaining that for 280 I could have gotten something nicer. I should have went somewhere else. Like, why did I choose this hotel? And I'm just like, you're serious right now? I'm trying to get over it. And then there's a little teddy bear on the bed, and she complains about the color of the teddy bear. I don't know what teddy bear it was, but I know apparently I got the wrong color. I'm trying to make this story as short as I can, but there is really so much that she did, so just bear with me. Our very first night in the hotel, I'm over here thinking we're just gonna spend some time together, but no, she wants to go to a club, and I'm like, babe, let's just settle in, like, but she wants to go club. That she wants to go to, I used to talk to one of the dancers at that club, so I really tried to like not go to that club because I didn't want to run into her. I thought my girl was beautiful. I was comfortable with how she looked. I loved her body and everything about her. She was just very complejosa. You know, she was like, oh, back in Colombia, I was so skinny. I was this. I didn't want her to go to this club because if the dancer was there, that dancer was hot. I mean, she was like toned. I mean, I just didn't want an awkward situation. Long story short, we end up going to the club. As soon as we walk into the club, the dancer saw me. She's waving at me. She gets down from the stage to say hi to me. The dancer was not nice, and she looks at her and she goes, this is your girl? I mean, and I'm like, yes, that's my girlfriend. It's like the most awkward situation. I'm just like, oh my God, like, trágame tierra. So they hate each other. My girlfriend walks away and leaves me with the dancer. Instead of my girl trying to figure out what's going on, she goes out and dances with some dude, and she's like all over this guy, like on the floor, just very ratchet. I'm with the dancer, and the dancer is like, you know, la novia tuya es bien ghetto, mira eso. And I'm just all embarrassed, and I'm just like, wow, dude, this is not how I wanted this night to go. That whole dancer thing led to us driving home, her mad at me, her breaking up with me, and me having to go home, and I just paid for that hotel, and I couldn't stay. Of course, I'm an idiot because it's my first girlfriend. So after the week, she calls me to pick her up, and she wants to get back together. And apparently she has a place to stay, and I was really uncomfortable with where she was staying. I walk into this house, and guys, it was like walking into an episode of like Law and Order, Criminal Minds, like drug type of episode. There was drugs everywhere, and I mean from marijuana to cocaine to whatever it is on there, and I'm just like, I am literally shaking. She brings me into this house, like she doesn't even introduce me. So I'm standing there, and this guy is like, ¿Quién es esta? Who's this? Who's this? He looks like he's about to kill me. I'm really freaking out, and I'm like, sácame de aquí. I was like, I need to go. And then I guess they thought I was a cop, or I don't know what they thought, and everyone wanted me to leave too. In this van with her friends or whatever, and I'm just like I'm really shaking, and I'm like, porque tú me llevaste, like, why you took me there? And I was so nervous. He's all like, oh yeah, but that's nothing, you know, that's what we're used to in Colombia and this and this and that. And I'm like, I have Colombian friends. Like, you're the only Colombian that has ever taken me to a drug house. I mean, there's a lot more stuff that she did, guys, but I'm not trying to make this a 20-minute story. But that drug thing right there really was like, you know what? She's not for me. Not to mention that in all the times that we have to like go to the hotel or like stay at somebody's house, all her stuff is in my car. Like, even my dad was like, why do you have those bags in your car? Anywhere we went or everything we did, we always had like a stack of her stuff in my car. Like, it was bags of stuff. She had jewelry boxes. She has everything in my car. Later on, I meet her dad because he actually owns this like Colombian thing in Kissimmee. So I finally got to meet her dad. Dad is nothing how she described him. In fact, that guy was so nice to me. He even offered me coffee because we were talking about business. Date me and you ever introduce me to your parents, I promise that the first thing I'm gonna do is try to win your parents. So even though she spoke garbage about her dad, I was still trying to win his heart. With her dad because she had to check her email. So while she's taking forever checking her emails, him and I got to talking, and that's when I kind of started putting two and two together. First lie of many, he didn't kick her out because she was gay. That had nothing to do with it. He kicked her out because she was being disrespectful to her stepmom. Telling me, he's like, listen, this is a little degrading for me. Like, you know, I'm a man, but I came from Colombia and I married her, but that's her house. That's her rules. And she kept coming in. On coming to the house late, she would bring people. She was always loud music. And it just got to the point that her stepmom was like, she needs to go. So that's why he kicked her out. It's still wrong that he kicked her out because he could have at least been like, listen, I don't want you to live here, but I'm going to pay for you to live somewhere else or an apartment or something. But he just flat out kicked her out for that lady. But we were saying bye to each other. He told me, he's like, mira, tú eres una nena buena y te voy a decir que la hija mía es una ingrata, so ten cuidado con ella. And I'm like, dang, dude, that's your daughter. With time, no parent should ever say that about their kid, but with time, I got to figure out why he was saying that. Because I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm dating your daughter. Yeah, she's very hungry. Now that I've elaborated enough on how bad she is, I hope that you guys are going to understand why I did what I'm about to tell you. Like every other night, we ended up in a gay club again because I swear this girl just lived in gay clubs. So we ended up going to Parliament House, which is in Orlando. Was me like in my coming out. So at that point, I had already had like a couple of gay friends, and I met them at the club and all that good stuff. So the club was over, and we were all saying bye. I'm having a conversation here with one of my friends, like, sí, nena, porque los otros días, and I hear on the corner, like here, I hear this, I hear that. It's like I know that's a kiss. Like when you say bye to somebody, no, bam, no, this sound is two people kissing. Girl had no shame. Like I am looking at her and it has her back towards me. She's in front of a girl and I hear them kissing. At this, at this moment, I think that I no more Biggie being nice. Like I think that I have been way too nice to this devil of a woman. Walk up to her furious and I'm like, ¿Tú la besaste? And she's like, ¿Qué te pasa a ti? Yo no he besado a nadie. They're both looking at me laughing. This is the one and only time a woman has ever put her hands on me. And my girl actually pushed me. She's like, salte de aquí. And I'm like, you say the type of person that I am, I would never hit a girl or anything like that. But you can never say that stuff unless you're in that situation. And that's the only time in my life where I've ever wanted to deck a woman. I made a fist and I went back and I was going to come back with a vengeance and punch her in the face. Did that, thank God there was a cop in the corner and he knew we were about to start fighting. So he's like, ladies, ladies. When I did that and he said that, I was like that, it just like stopped right there. Taking like real estate or something at the time, and I didn't want that to affect my record. I'm like, Biggie, if you punch this girl, you go to jail. This is gonna affect your career. So just think and stop. And I didn't hit her, and I stopped. And then she laughs at me. She's like, "Eso es, ¿qué vas a hacer?" So at that point, I got like bien novela, and I got real close to her face. I got real close to her face like this, and I got bien novela. I was like, "Ahora sí que tú me vas a conocer," and I walked away. She's laughing. The girl that she kissed, they're laughing at me, and I'm walking away. And she's not even chasing me. She's like, well, what is she going to do? She's probably going to sit in her car and cry. Oh, no, I wasn't going to go to my car and cry. I was going to do that afterwards. But before that, remember that she had all her stuff in my car. What do I do? In the middle of this gay club's parking lot, I take all her stuff out of my car. In everything I open all 4 doors of my car. I open the trunk and everything. I'm just like everything out of my car. Friend shows up and you could tell that she's older because she's more rational. She's like, Abby, I know you're upset right now, but you got to think about this, how she's going to get home. Like, you're going to regret this in the morning. This is not you. I'm really mad. And I'm telling her to show, like, shut up and help me take this stuff out. So I'm just like cleaning everything out. And then my friend's girlfriend comes. Girlfriend is on my side. She's like, yo, listen, I know that this is not the best way to handle it, but yo, just let her be. And she starts helping me take all the stuff out of the car. She had like this big jewelry box and there was a couple of jewels in there that belonged to her mom. Pero tú sabes que she lied to me so much that was probably a lie too. So I picked up the box and threw it to her. In everything. That parking lot was filled with bags, clothes, jewelry, shoes, you name it. It was all over that parking lot. I got in the car and I told my friends, you guys gonna come with me or what? So they didn't want to leave me alone, so they came with me. But as we're leaving the parking lot, my rational friend is really trying to be rational. She's like, Abby, listen, are you sure? You know, we can just go back and we can help you pick everything up. You know, how is that girl gonna get home? And I'm like, the girl that she kissed, that's who can take her home. There was no convincing me to go back and get her stuff. It has been probably about 12 or 13 years, and to this day, I don't know how she got home. Cleaned up that parking lot. I don't know how she got home. All I gotta say is that every nice person has their limits, and that night, I reached my update you. We did run into each other about 6 months later. That's a whole other long story, but we actually did go out and we went to the movies. She was kind of trying to be flirty with me, which I was still in shock because I thought she hated me for what I did, but we just kind of like never talked about it. Never asked. I mean, how would that conversation even go? So, mira, la noche esa que yo te saqué todas las porquerías tuyas de mi carro. ¿Cómo tú llegaste a tu casa, nena? Inside, she just knew how bad she was, that she just had something like that coming to her. And I guess she didn't expect for me to do something like that, but she did apologize to me. That to me was more shocking. I was like, what? And she's like, mira, yo te quiero pedir perdón por todo lo que yo te hice. She's like, you know, you were really good to me and I'm sorry about everything. And I'm like, what? So I got closure. That I have never ever seen her again. So I have not seen this girl for about 12 years. So, you know, I hope she's doing good. And if I ever run into her, I'll say hi. We can go out for some coffee. You guys go the craziest thing I have ever done to an ex. Hopefully I will never do something like that again. So the moral of the story is, yo, even nice people have their limits. So be careful.